Welcome to this lesson, and in this lesson we're going to be talking about why most digital marketing campaign fails. So a lot of people have tried digital marketing and they've gotten their hands burnt, and that's because they've made some certain mistakes. And so these mistakes, we're going to be looking at it today, and I'll be giving you hints on how you can avoid those mistakes. But as you go through the course, you're going to learn fully on how to actually ensure that you don't make this mistake. The first mistake that a lot of people make is that they are not just interested in wanting to know how digital marketing work. I remember having a conversation recently, and this business owner was like, oh, I'm just going to hire a digital marketer. It's just going to come in and it's just going to do this and do that and whatever. But now the problem there is that if you hire somebody and you don't understand how it works, then you become vulnerable to that person, because that person might not even understand how to actually get you a result. And but because you yourself don't even know how it works, you lose a lot of money from it. And aside from that, even if you want to hire an agency as well, having the knowledge of how digital marketing works guides you from being able from making costly mistakes. Yes, you might think that, oh, an agency might be the expert, but the agency itself does not know your business as much as you do. So as a result of that, it's very, very important for you to also understand how digital marketing works so that you can get good results. I remember consulting for a company that almost lost a lot of money, over 12 million, and they hired an agency, and the agency, sent traffic to their website, but their website was not built to convert, so automatically they were not able to make any sale, and they spent over 3 million trying to drive the traffic to the site and things like that. But what they forgot to understand was that if you drive traffic to a place that does not have the strength of conversion, then automatically you're going to lose money in the first place. So it's like I said earlier on in my previous lesson, it's very easy to drive traffic, but in order to convert those traffic itself has to be relevant, and then where you're sending the traffic to on the other side also has to be built for conversion. And so if that's not done, automatically you're going to lose a lot of money and a lot of customers as well from it. And that's what a lot of businesses do. They just hire this an agency. And the bad part of it is that the agency came back to the company and said, oh, you need to increase your budget because you are in an insurance industry, you're in the insurance industry, and the insurance industry is very, very expensive, and you need it's very difficult to sell and very difficult to convince people, so you need a huge budget. And the company was actually considering to increase their budget to 12 million until they called me in to come and help them analyze the situation. And I made them understand that, see, the reason why they're not getting sales or conversion was because they didn't have the right strategy in place. And by the time we finished the strategic session with them, they were able to put their strategy together, and they started getting results with a much less with a much less budget. And this just lets you understand the key reasons why, if you just think that, oh, I'm not going to learn this thing, I can just hire somebody and the rest of it, you might be shooting yourself from the back, and which is not good if you are actually a serious or an individual that wants to progress in his business or in his career. It's very, very important for you to know that the world is going digital, and it's important for you to be part of this movement. Now, like I said, it's very, very sad, because once you think you don't need it, then automatically you lose a lot of money. And that's the reason why most people, when we're in a conversation with them, they keep on saying, oh, if digital marketing is so effective, why am I not getting results? If you say it's measurable, why am I not getting results, and things like that. But that's because they don't understand, okay, so if you can measure digital marketing, what do you do with the result that you've gotten? How do you use it to increase your sales? You don't know it. If you don't get the right knowledge, you won't know how to maximize it. And I tell people something also, that it's not just you understanding or knowing how to measure or how to use analytics, because digital marketing is measurable. It is about you being able to interpret it the right way. So because a data might give you a negative result, but does not mean that negative result is not good for your business in order to drive you more results. So these are just a bit of dynamics of why you need to really understand how digital marketing works in order to actually enjoy the result and the benefits that it has in stock for you. Talking about the mistakes that you make, one of the strongest mistakes that you make is that you have the wrong strategy from the beginning. And like I explained earlier on, that also is as a result of not having a lack of knowledge. But if you have the wrong strategy in place, you are not going to drive any particular result. So the wrong strategy could start from you targeting the wrong set of customers, or misunderstanding the actual value, or not even communicating the value that you are supposed to be communicating in your marketing communication or your marketing channels and all. So having the wrong strategy in the first place would mean that your campaign in itself is not going to be successful, right? Now, you also need to understand that because digital marketing, it's more about content, right? It's traditional marketing is about graphics and things like that, branding and all. But digital marketing has a lot more to do with content, and that means that whatever you're pushing out to your audience, whatever way you're communicating the value to your audience, you need to ensure it has a lot of substance in it. You need to ensure that it is something that is quality, something that is good. And like, well, in 1996, Bill Gates said content is king, but the truth of the matter is that content is not actually king, but quality content is what is actually king. Because if you have quality content that actually explains and articulates well the value that your product or your service is supposed to deliver to the potential customers, then you will get good results from it. So because a lot of people just push out content, and like I said when I was doing in the previous lesson on the potentials of digital marketing, I told you that there were over thousands of blog posts that have been put just today at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And that just lets you understand that there's so many content that people are pushing out on a day-to-day basis. In terms of emails, there are billions of emails that people are receiving billions of emails are being sent on a day-to-day basis, and that tells you that you already have a limitation in terms of your potential customers receiving so many emails, reading so many blog posts, having so many distractions on social media and all, that they would only pay attention to something that has substance. And don't forget that there's always a saying where people tell you that, oh, people don't have time and the rest of it. But the truth of the matter is that people set aside time for things that are of importance to them, for things that they feel have substance to them, things that they feel that are of huge value to them. And so your goal in digital marketing is not to push out weak substance, but to push out things that have strong substance that would make sure that your potential customers or your customers are well engaged enough in order to drive you new customers, repeat purchases, repeat customers, and referral customers as well. Now, the next mistake that a lot of business make is the fact that they fail to monitor their digital marketing progress. So the first thing is, how do you improve on something when you don't even measure it in the first place, right? And like I said earlier on also, digital marketing is measurable, but if you're going to measure it, should you follow data or should you be customer-centric? What I mean by that is that you can see an analytics that tells you, oh, you have a lot of bounce rate. Now, bounce rate means people coming to your website and leaving your website, right? But on the other side, that might be as a result of probably you're driving the wrong type of traffic to your site. But the right type of traffic that are coming to your website are actually, actually like the message that you're putting across to them. So you not being able to understand the line, to draw the line between which data to follow and which data not to follow, and missing the fact that the most important people in your marketing are the customers, because you're trying to market to human beings, and so you need to be more customer-centric and pay particular attention to key information, or measure or monitor key information, key things that your customers come back to tell you as to why they buy from you, what they are looking to buy, and what they want from your products and services. That in itself is the strongest weapon that you can have, and that's one thing digital marketing gives to you, especially when it comes to social media. A lot of people are always can go to your Facebook page or your Instagram page and tell you, oh, I love you guys because of this particular reason. Oh, I like more of this if you guys can do this for us, and things like that. Those kind of information are very, very strong, and they are your strongest weapon, and you just need to look at, okay, let's go back to our drawing board and understand, oh, this is what the customer wants, this is how they perceive their after value, their after state, and so you just need to now go back and communicate that value to your customers. So it's very important for you to measure your digital marketing activities, to monitor them, to understand what the customers are saying, to be able to interpret the analytics very well, the data that you're going to be getting from either your website, your social media activities, or your advertising platforms, and be able to use that together in order to get a very good result. And which is part of what we're going to be covering when you get to the analytics part of the course. Now, one big mistake that a lot of people also do is that all right, so we have an agency arm of the business, and I remember when anytime we go meet companies and we go and talk to them, the first thing they say is, I want my social media likes to grow to 100 million. I want this to go to this, and I want this to grow this. But the mistake they make is that it doesn't correlate with their overall business objective or their overall business goal. And in my previous lesson, I did mention that the key thing that you need to understand is that every business wants more customers, they want repeat purchases, they want retention in their business, and they want to increase the average order value. Now, if your marketing does not tie down to those goals, then automatically you're not going to be able to drive good results. So you might have so many likes, but those likes might not be converting into actual customers, and that means that you are not going to be getting any particular result, as it were. Now, the fifth thing is that you need to, the next mistake that a lot of people make is that they forget that they are actually marketing to human beings, and human beings have expectations, and if those expectations are not met, that's the number one reason why they won't buy from you, or that's the number one reason why your digital marketing campaign would fail overall. It's because people have a certain level of expectations from you, and they explain that when you are communicating with them, you communicate that value with consistency and also with frequency. That when I mean frequency, I mean you are consistent in it. So for example, let me use this as an example to explain this very well, is that you have okay, let me explain this from the angle of a boyfriend and a girlfriend aspect, right? So you ask the girl out to go out on a dinner date the first day you meet her and everything. She says yes, and then you wait for another 6 months before you ask her again for a dinner date. There's an high chance that she's going to say no to you. But assuming you have been a bit consistent with taking her out probably on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis, then there's an expectation that has already been set, and once that expectation is tampered with, right, automatically that means that the trust, it has been destroyed. And one thing you need to understand in digital marketing is that trust is a very, very strong and essential part of what makes people buy from you. I'm sure you don't buy from people that you don't trust. And marketing is about relationship building, and relationship building requires you to keep in constant communication with people at a particular level of frequency as well. And if you don't keep in communication with people at that particular frequency, automatically your relationship is not going to be as strong as it should be. So the last, but not the least of the mistakes that a lot of people make is that the lack of resources and skills. So if you don't have the right person executing the right strategy, then your campaign is not going to succeed. And that's one of the biggest issues a lot of people have. So when you hire the wrong person to execute a digital marketing strategy that is supposed to work, so the problem might not be with the strategy, the problem might be with the person that is executing it. Automatically that might mean it doesn't work, it won't work as good as it's supposed to. Then there are some times that you need some certain resources, some tools that you need to use. So if you're not using the right tool as well to execute your marketing strategy, then you might not be getting the right result that you should be expecting or you should be getting. Okay, so the last mistake that a lot of business make is that they use the wrong resources, and they also hire the wrong team, or the wrong person to execute the strategy for them. So sometimes you might have a good strategy, a working strategy, but the person that is executing it is not the right person that should be executing it. Also, you might have the right strategy, but you might be using the wrong set of tools that would not actually drive you the result that you should be expecting. So what you want to really do is you want to ensure that you're using the right set of tool, and you're also using the right, you have the right person executing your strategy. That's why in digital marketing, in business, if you're going to hire a digital marketer, you need to ensure that the digital marketer is someone that has good experience and also has hands-on experience. It's not really about certifications, but it's about what the person can do. And also when it comes to tools, you need to ensure that the tools that they're using, they have the right functionalities that would actually help you to measure and optimize your campaign to drive the desired result that is required for it. So to sum it up, I'm sure once you understand these reasons why digital marketing campaigns fail, you should be able to understand what you need to do in order to avoid those mistakes from happening. So you need to have the right strategy, you have to have the right resources, you need to ensure you're executing the right strategy, you need to execute that your content has substance, and you need to ensure that your campaign as a whole streamlines to the overall business goal, which is to either increase customer or increase average order or increase repeat purchases as well. So you want to ensure that all these things are put together, and then you are game, or if you do all this, then you are sure that you're going to have good success. So now let's move to the next lesson, and in the next lesson I'm going to be talking about the digital marketing skills that you need in order to be able to execute any strategy and be able to implement and get good results from it.
My name is Nena Azuka Omoka. And of course, I did have very huge expectations when I decided to come for this training. I just concluded a postgraduate degree in marketing with the Chartered Institute of Marketing UK, and I could have gone ahead to take their digital training as well, but I said no. I needed something more hands-on, something more Nigerian, something that would look at digital marketing from the perspective of professionals within this country's industry. And then after some search, I did find this organization, DMSI. And what was I looking for exactly beyond everything around it being Nigerian? I needed to know more about digital, because digital is the future. Digital is our today. Digital defines everything that we do in life. And it's very important that every area of our life, every area of our professional lives as well, should be guided by digital strategies. So I took that decision. 150%, I must say. Before I came to this institute, I had reasons to deal with agencies because I'm a marketing professional. And I found that somehow my intuition told me that what these guys are coming to me with, that they are just, in our Nigerian parlance, what we call boboing me. And of course, I started to do some level of research, and I realized that I could also learn this thing. And you know what it is like being a tailor and not knowing how to sew. So the people who work with you will take you for a ride anyways. So I decided that yes, I might outsource this part of my business to help my professional life, but then I should know a lot about how it's being done. I needed to be in charge of my campaigns. I needed to be able to set the right KPIs. I needed to understand when my campaign is working and when my campaign is not working. More importantly, I needed also to have the knowledge that would help me, branch out of paid employment and then become an employer myself. That's a very difficult question to answer. I think the question really should have been, what are the things that you have learned? Because they are huge. Now, I can do SEO, search engine optimization. I have learned the tricks and the tips for doing the job. I've learned how to do snipping, and I'm not going to tell you what it means. You have to come here to find out. But I tell you, it's fantastic. It's a fantastic tool to use. I have also learned how to build my own website. What could be better than that? Why do I have to pay somebody some huge money to do something that I can comfortably sit and do to my own taste? I have also learned how to run ad campaigns on various social media platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. And you might want to know, before now I didn't even have an Instagram account, by choice of course. But today, knowing what benefits that I could get from that platform, trust me, I'm going to be one of the best users in no distant time. What is next for me? Take the world digitally. You bet. Would I refer DMSI? The answer is why yes, capital S, because it's practical. There is no competition, trust me. And how do you prove this? The taste of the pudding is in the eating. Search for digital marketing training in Nigeria, and who do you see? Digital Marketing Skills Institute. If you don't find them at the top, then what would they be offering to you anyways? So the practice what they preach, and you see it, they give case studies, and then it is hands-on. Nobody gives you classroom theory. You come here with your laptop, you get your hands dirty, and you do the job yourself. More importantly, they don't just teach you practicals in class. They work with you all the way. Even after the class, you still can consult with them. We have a platform where we can ask questions, where we can rub minds, where we can learn new things. So it's not money wasted. Whatever you pay is 150% value earned. Trust me.